Have you ever wondered why, as the years go by, your body feels a little slower, your energy fades a little faster, and that powerful drive that once defined you seems to be slipping away? What if I told you the real reason might be sitting right inside your pantry? One small, innocent-looking nut, something millions of men eat every single day, could be silently destroying your testosterone and slowly draining away your manhood without you even realizing it. I'm Dr. James, a board-certified urologist and men's health specialist with over 30 years of experience helping men restore their strength, vitality, and confidence. I've seen hundreds of men walk into my office tired, frustrated, and confused, only to discover that what they thought was a healthy snack was actually suppressing the very hormone that makes them feel alive. Here's the shocking truth. While most nuts can support your heart and hormones, one common nut does the exact opposite. It quietly inflames your body, interferes with testosterone production, and weakens your circulation, leading to fatigue, low desire, and poor performance. But don't lose hope, because in this video I'll show you the one nut you must avoid and reveal 4 powerful nuts that can naturally rebuild your testosterone, boost your energy, and restore your masculine edge. Stay with me until the end, because I'll reveal which nut is the silent killer of men's vitality and what you can start eating today to reclaim your strength, your drive, and your confidence. Before we get started, make sure you subscribe and turn on the notification bell, babe. That way you'll never miss another men's health update designed to help you stay strong and vital at any age. And if you find this video helpful, type 1 in the comments below. If you think I can do better, type 0. Your feedback helps me make every video even more valuable for you. Now, before we reveal the nut that's silently destroying your testosterone, let's take a step back and understand what's really happening inside your body. Because to fight the enemy, you first have to know it. So, let's talk about what truly happens to testosterone after the age of 40. 1. The truth about testosterone after 40. When a man turns 40, something begins to shift, quietly, gradually, but unmistakably. You may not notice it overnight, but one morning you wake up and realize the fire that used to burn inside you isn't as strong as it once was. The morning energy that used to push you out of bed is replaced by stiffness, fatigue, and a lingering sense that your body is no longer fully cooperating with your will. You still want to move, to work, to perform, but it feels like you're running on half the fuel you once had. As a urologist, I've seen this pattern repeat itself thousands of times. A man comes into my office and says, "Doctor, I just don't feel like myself anymore." He's not weak, he's not sick, but something has changed. His energy is lower, his focus isn't as sharp, and his confidence, especially in the bedroom, has started to fade. When we run his lab tests, the story is always the same. His testosterone levels have dropped, sometimes by 30 or even 40% compared to his younger years. Now, here's the truth most men never hear. Testosterone doesn't just control your libido, it shapes everything about your vitality. It fuels your muscles, keeps your mind sharp, supports your heart, and even influences your mood and motivation. It's the biological signal that tells your body you're strong, you're capable. You're a man. And when that signal weakens, it's not just your performance that changes, it's how you feel about yourself. You start to question your strength, your purpose, even your identity. The medical textbooks describe testosterone decline as a natural part of aging, and while that's technically true, it's only part of the story. I've met men in their 60s with the energy and strength of someone 20 years younger, and I've seen men in their 40s who already feel twice their age. The difference isn't luck or genetics, it's lifestyle, diet, and awareness. You see, the human body is remarkably adaptable. It listens to the signals you give it every single day. The food you eat, the sleep you get, the stress you carry, and the movement you choose, all of it sends messages to your brain about whether to keep producing testosterone or to slow it down. When you skip meals, eat processed foods, stay up late, or live under constant stress, your body reads that as danger. And in survival mode, testosterone takes a back seat. Your system begins to conserve energy, storing fat, reducing muscle mass, and lowering reproductive function. Because from a biological standpoint, survival matters more than strength. That's why so many men after 40 find themselves in a vicious cycle. Less testosterone leads to less energy leads to less activity, and less activity leads to even lower testosterone. But here's the hopeful part. This cycle can be broken. Your testosterone isn't gone, it's dormant. It's waiting for the right signals to wake it up again. When you start providing your body with the nutrients, rest, and circulation it needs, your hormone production can rebound naturally. I've watched men rebuild their energy, restore their strength, and reignite their confidence without injections or pills, simply by giving their bodies what they were missing. And yet, there's one hidden factor that quietly sabotages all that effort. You could eat well, exercise, and sleep properly, but if this one element in your diet is still there, it's like pouring water into a leaking bucket. It drains your progress day after day, undoing the very work your body is trying to do. Most men have no idea this culprit is hiding in plain sight, disguised as something healthy, something they've eaten for years without question. So before you reach for your next handful of snacks, take a deep breath, because in the next part I'll reveal what this so-called healthy nut really does to your body, how it inflames your system, and why it may be the single biggest threat to your testosterone after 40. This is the moment where knowledge could change everything. 2. The hidden enemy in your pantry, the peanut. If I had $1 for every man who told me, "But doctor, I thought peanuts were good for me," I could probably retire by now. And honestly, I understand why so many believe it. Peanuts are everywhere. They're affordable, packed in every snack aisle, promoted as heart-healthy, and even marketed as a good source of protein. You see a jar of peanut butter and it feels harmless, nostalgic even. Maybe it reminds you of your kids' school lunches or a favorite snack you've had for decades. But here's the truth I wish every man over 40 knew. The peanut is not your friend. In fact, for your testosterone, it's one of your quietest enemies. Let me tell you a story. Years ago, I had a patient named Mark, 57 years old, a former high school football coach. Strong guy, active, proud of staying fit. Yet when he came to my office, he said, "Doc, I don't get it. I'm eating clean, hitting the gym, but I feel weaker every month." When I reviewed his diet, there it was, peanut butter every single morning. It was his healthy breakfast. We replaced it with almonds and walnuts, and within 8 weeks, his blood work told the story. Testosterone up by nearly 20%, inflammation markers down. That's when I realized just how common this mistake really is. The problem starts with a simple misconception. Peanuts aren't even nuts. They're legumes, part of the same family as beans and lentils. Unlike true nuts, which grow on trees and are rich in healthy fats, peanuts are grown underground in moist environments that make them extremely vulnerable to mold. And this mold produces something truly dangerous, aflatoxin. Aflatoxin is a toxic compound that can damage the liver, the organ responsible for filtering your blood and regulating hormones, including testosterone. When your liver is under constant stress from these toxins, it can't properly maintain hormonal balance. Over time, testosterone levels drop not because your body doesn't want to produce it, but because the system that supports it is overworked and damaged. Imagine trying to run a marathon while breathing through a straw. That's what your liver is going through when it's overloaded with aflatoxin. But that's not the only problem. Peanuts are loaded with omega-6 fatty acids. Now, don't get me wrong, your body needs some omega-6 fats. But the modern diet is already drowning in them, especially from vegetable oils and processed foods. When omega-6 levels soar and omega-3 levels fall, your body slips into a chronic inflammatory state. And inflammation is like acid to your testosterone-producing cells. It burns slowly, silently, weakening your system over time. The more inflamed your body becomes, the less efficient your hormone production gets. It's a quiet chain reaction that leaves you feeling tired, irritable, and drained, both physically and emotionally. I can't tell you how many men I've seen fall into this trap. They're eating peanuts daily, thinking it's a healthy snack when in reality it's like feeding their bodies a slow poison. It doesn't cause instant harm, that's why it's so deceptive. Instead, it chips away at your energy, your confidence, your manhood day after day. And the worst part, it's so easily avoidable. Just replacing peanuts with nuts that actually support your hormones can turn things around faster than most men expect. So if you're sitting there thinking, well, I've eaten peanuts all my life, I want you to understand, it's not too late. Your body has an incredible ability to heal once you stop feeding the inflammation. Remove the source and you'll be shocked by how much better you feel in just a few weeks. But peanuts aren't the only hidden culprit. There's another silent factor that works hand in hand with inflammation to destroy testosterone, and it's something happening inside your body right now, whether you eat perfectly or not. In the next part, I'll show you the real biochemical reason behind your declining energy and how this invisible force can either build your hormones or break them beyond repair. 3. The inflammation-hormone connection. If there's one thing I've learned after decades of treating men's health issues, it's that inflammation is a silent thief. You can't see it, you can't feel it right away, but it's quietly stealing your energy, your strength, and your testosterone. It's the invisible storm inside your body that slowly turns a powerful, capable man into someone who feels tired, foggy, and disconnected from the man he used to be. Most men think inflammation is only about joint pain or swelling. But what they don't realize is that chronic low-grade inflammation is a direct hormonal disruptor. It's the reason why many men over 40 lose their vitality without understanding why. I remember a patient named Charles, 61 years old. He was disciplined, ate what he thought was a balanced diet, walked every day, and rarely got sick. But he told me something that stuck with me. "Doctor, it feels like my engine is running, but I'm out of fuel." His blood work confirmed what I suspected. His inflammatory markers were elevated, and his testosterone levels were dropping fast. The connection was undeniable. Inflammation was silently shutting down his hormone production, one cell at a time. Here's what happens inside the body. When inflammation becomes chronic, your immune system stays on high alert. It starts producing stress chemicals, cytokines, that interfere with nearly every function, including your endocrine system, which is responsible for producing hormones. Those cytokines attack the very Leydig cells in your testicles that create testosterone. Over time, your body begins to conserve energy, redirecting resources toward defense instead of vitality. Your brain interprets this as danger, and when the brain thinks the body is in danger, it stops prioritizing reproduction and strength. It's biology's way of saying, now's not the time to build, it's time to survive. And survival mode for men means lower testosterone. That's why men under stress or chronic inflammation often experience fatigue, weight gain, irritability, and reduced sexual function. Their bodies aren't broken, they're just stuck in a constant state of alarm. Every time you eat processed foods rich in omega-6 fats, every time you stay up too late, skip exercise, or live under constant stress, you're fanning the flames of inflammation. And those flames burn right through your hormonal balance. I tell my patients that testosterone isn't just about masculinity, it's about vitality. It's the hormone that keeps your body building, repairing, and thriving. But when inflammation takes over, it turns that system off. You lose muscle because your body stops prioritizing repair. You gain fat because your metabolism slows down. You lose focus because your brain chemistry changes. Even your mood shifts. Men with low testosterone often report sadness, frustration, or anxiety they can't explain. That's not weakness, that's biology under siege. The good news is, this can be reversed. When you start reducing inflammation, your body responds almost immediately. The brain senses safety again, and hormone production gradually returns to normal. It's not about taking shortcuts or synthetic testosterone. It's about allowing your body to heal. Foods rich in omega-3 fatty acids, proper sleep, hydration, and stress reduction are your best medicine. And when you remove the triggers, like the wrong nuts, the wrong oils, and the constant stress, you give your system the peace it needs to rebuild itself. I've seen men in their 60s reclaim the energy they thought was lost forever, not because of pills or injections, but because they finally addressed inflammation at its source. The change is visible in their eyes, in their posture, in their confidence. It's as if the fog lifts and the man they used to be steps back into the mirror. But here's the interesting part. While eliminating inflammation is crucial, it's only half of the story. Once you remove the things that harm your hormones, you must replace them with foods that help your body rebuild its strength. And there are 4 specific nuts, simple, natural, and powerful, that can do just that. In the next part, I'll reveal these testosterone-friendly nuts and explain how each one acts like natural medicine to help you restore your energy, balance, and masculinity from the inside out. 4. The testosterone-friendly nuts you should eat instead. After years of helping men rebuild their testosterone naturally, I've come to appreciate how small, consistent choices can completely transform a man's vitality. One of those choices is the kind of nuts you eat. I know it sounds simple, almost too simple, but the truth is the right nuts can make a powerful difference in how your body produces and sustains testosterone. You see, while some nuts silently sabotage your hormones, others act like nature's own medicine, fueling your body with the nutrients it needs to perform at its best. Let me share a memory that changed how I talk about nutrition with my patients. A man named Robert, 64 years old, came to see me after years of feeling drained. He told me, "Doc, I don't understand. I take my vitamins, I eat clean, but I just can't get my energy back." When I asked about his diet, he listed his routine: a handful of peanuts, sometimes cashews every evening. We swapped them for 4 specific nuts: walnuts, almonds, Brazil nuts, and pistachios, and asked him to make no other changes. 8 weeks later, his blood work looked like a different man's. His testosterone was up, his inflammation was down, and he said, "For the first time in years, I actually wake up ready for the day." That's when I knew how deeply these small habits can shape a man's biology. Let's start with walnuts. They might look ordinary, but inside they're rich in omega-3 fatty acids, the very building blocks of testosterone. Your body can't create testosterone without healthy fats, and omega-3s provide the raw material your hormones depend on. Walnuts also contain arginine, an amino acid that boosts nitric oxide, improving blood flow to every part of your body. Better circulation doesn't just mean more oxygen to your muscles, it also supports the blood flow that's essential for strong, reliable performance. Every handful of walnuts is like telling your body, keep building, keep producing, keep going. Next come almonds, one of my favorite foods for men's health. They're loaded with magnesium, a mineral that most older men are unknowingly deficient in. Magnesium not only helps your body create testosterone, it also frees the testosterone you already have by lowering a protein called SHBG, sex hormone binding globulin. When SHBG levels drop, more testosterone becomes active in your system, ready to fuel energy, muscle growth, and desire. Almonds also provide vitamin E, a powerful antioxidant that protects the Leydig cells in your testicles from oxidative stress. Think of it as armor for the very factory that produces your testosterone. Then there are Brazil nuts, the most underestimated powerhouse of them all. They're rich in selenium, a mineral your body needs in tiny amounts but relies on completely for healthy hormone function. Selenium acts like a spark plug, activating enzymes that trigger testosterone production. But there's a catch. Too much selenium can be harmful, so just 1 or 2 Brazil nuts per day is enough. I often tell my patients to treat them like medicine: small, precise, and consistent. That's how you get the benefit without overdoing it. Finally, we have pistachios, the quiet hero of men's health. Most people don't realize that pistachios support circulation and help balance your testosterone to estrogen ratio. They lower bad cholesterol, raise good cholesterol, and keep your arteries flexible. And for men over 50, that circulation boost makes a world of difference. Stronger blood flow means better energy, better recovery, and yes, better performance where it matters most. A small handful in the evening can satisfy cravings and support your hormones at the same time. Each of these nuts plays a unique role, but together they create a natural foundation for strength, stamina, and hormonal balance. You don't need expensive supplements or complicated diets, just nature's simplest gifts, eaten with consistency and purpose. Every bite sends your body a message: to repair, to rebuild, to rise again. But even when you start adding these powerful foods, there's still one more factor that determines whether your testosterone thrives or falls. It's something far more insidious, an invisible force working inside you every day, shaping how your body uses or loses its hormones. And if you don't control it, no diet, no routine, and no supplement will save your testosterone. In the next part, we'll uncover exactly what that force is and how to silence it before it silences your vitality for good. 5. Why inflammation is the silent testosterone killer. Over the years, I've come to realize that inflammation is one of the most misunderstood and underestimated enemies of men's health. It's invisible, it's quiet, and it works slowly, but it's devastating. It doesn't show up overnight, and it doesn't always cause pain. Instead, it creeps into your system little by little until one day you wake up feeling weaker, slower, and older than your years. You look in the mirror and wonder, when did I start feeling like this? That's what inflammation does. It doesn't just affect your body, it steals your energy, your clarity, and your sense of vitality. I remember a patient named John, 63 years old, a retired mechanic who'd spent most of his life working with his hands. He told me, "Doc, I can still fix an engine, but I can't fix myself." He wasn't sick, but he felt heavy, tired, and emotionally drained. His testosterone levels were low, his blood sugar slightly high, and his inflammatory markers were off the charts. What was happening to him wasn't a mystery. It was inflammation doing exactly what it does best: sabotaging from within. Here's how it works. Every time you eat something processed, stay up too late, skip exercise, or live under chronic stress, your body senses danger. It releases inflammatory molecules to protect you. At first, that's a good thing. It's your body's natural defense system. But when that alarm never turns off, when inflammation becomes chronic, it transforms from protector to destroyer. Those inflammatory molecules start attacking your own cells, including the Leydig cells in your testicles that are responsible for producing testosterone. Imagine tiny sparks burning away at the very machinery that fuels your manhood. Over time, your hormone production slows, your energy drops, and your body shifts from building mode to survival mode. The tragedy is that most men don't connect the dots. They think their fatigue, brain fog, or loss of drive is just part of aging. They start to accept it. But what's really happening is that inflammation is taking over, shutting down the systems that once kept them strong and confident. The inflammation doesn't just suppress testosterone, it also makes your cells resistant to it. Even if you have enough hormone in your blood, your body stops responding to it effectively. That's why you can have normal numbers on a test and still feel completely drained. The foods we eat every day play a massive role in this. Diets overloaded with omega-6 fatty acids from vegetable oils, fried foods, and yes, the wrong kinds of nuts, flood your system with inflammatory compounds. Meanwhile, a lack of omega-3s, the fats found in fish, walnuts, and other healthy sources, leaves your body defenseless. The balance between these two fats is what determines whether your body stays calm and strong or constantly inflamed and tired. When that balance is lost, your body becomes a battlefield, and testosterone is one of the first casualties. But the good news is that inflammation can be reversed. Your body is remarkably resilient. When you start cutting out inflammatory foods, sleeping better, and moving your body, you send a message to your system: the danger is over. The body begins to shift back into repair mode. Testosterone production rises, energy returns, and that dull, heavy feeling starts to fade. I've seen it happen again and again, men who once felt years older suddenly rediscovering the vitality they thought was gone forever. It's not magic, it's biology responding to the care it's been waiting for. If there's one lesson I could pass to every man over 60, it's this. Your body isn't giving up on you, it's just reacting to how it's been treated. Reduce the inflammation and you reignite the spark that built you. But knowing this isn't enough. To truly rebuild your strength and restore your testosterone, you need a simple daily action plan. something clear and practical that you can start right now. In the next part, I'll share exactly that. The step-by-step habits every man over 60 should follow to protect his hormones, boost his energy, and reclaim the vitality he deserves. 6. The daily habits that rebuild testosterone naturally. When I talk to men about testosterone, many think they need a magic pill or some complicated supplement regimen to feel like themselves again. But the truth is far simpler and far more powerful. What determines the strength of your hormones isn't found in a capsule. It's in the choices you make every single day. I've seen it over and over again. Men who felt drained, foggy, and unmotivated completely transformed their health just by changing how they live, eat, and rest. Testosterone isn't just a hormone, it's a reflection of your lifestyle. Every small decision, what you eat, how you move, how you sleep, either builds it up or breaks it down. Let me tell you about Frank, 68 years old, a retired Navy officer who came to me feeling like he had nothing left in the tank. His energy was gone, his drive was fading, and his mood was low. He said, "Doc, I used to wake up ready to take on the world. Now I wake up ready for another nap." We didn't start with medications, we started with habits. I asked him to make 4 key changes. Get sunlight every morning, walk briskly for 20 minutes a day, sleep at least 7 hours, and eat real whole foods while cutting out processed snacks and sugars. Within a few weeks, his energy returned. Within months, his testosterone had naturally risen by more than 30%. No drugs, no gimmicks, just consistent habits. The first and most powerful habit is sleep. I can't emphasize this enough. Testosterone is produced while you sleep, especially during deep stages of rest. When you cut your sleep short, you're cutting off your body's ability to recover and rebuild. Men who sleep less than 6 hours a night have been shown to produce up to 20% less testosterone. Sleep is your natural hormone therapy. It's free and it's essential. Set a consistent bedtime, keep your room dark and cool, and let your body do what it was designed to do: heal and regenerate. The second habit is movement. I'm not talking about running marathons or lifting heavy weights unless you enjoy it. I mean simple, consistent physical activity, brisk walking, light strength training, even gardening or cycling. Exercise sends a powerful signal to your body that you're still alive, still strong, still capable. When your muscles are active, your body responds by releasing growth hormones and testosterone. It's a feedback loop of vitality. Move more, feel better, build more strength. The third habit is nutrition. This is where most men go wrong. You don't need an extreme diet, you need a balanced one. Focus on foods that reduce inflammation and support hormone production. Lean proteins, leafy greens, berries, olive oil, and of course the testosterone-friendly nuts we talked about earlier: walnuts, almonds, Brazil nuts, and pistachios. Avoid the hidden testosterone killers like processed foods, excess sugar, and refined oils. These are the silent saboteurs that inflame your system and drain your vitality. Think of every meal as a choice between fueling your hormones or fighting them. The fourth habit is stress control. Chronic stress floods your body with cortisol, a hormone that directly suppresses testosterone. It's your body's emergency brake, meant to protect you in danger, but when it's always on, it crushes your energy and drive. Learn to release it. Spend time outdoors, meditate, breathe deeply, or simply disconnect from screens and noise for a while. You'll be amazed how much lighter your body feels when your mind finds calm. And finally, connection. I've noticed something remarkable among my older patients. Men who stay socially and emotionally connected tend to have higher testosterone and longer, healthier lives. Isolation drains your spirit and your hormones follow your emotions. Laugh, spend time with family, share meals, and stay engaged. The body thrives when the heart is full. These habits might sound simple, but their effects are profound. They don't just rebuild testosterone, they rebuild the man you thought you'd lost. Your energy returns, your focus sharpens, and you start to feel alive again. You don't have to chase youth. You can nurture vitality at any age by respecting your body's natural rhythm. But even with all these habits, there's still one crucial piece missing, the final step that ties everything together. It's the mindset that separates men who merely survive from those who truly thrive in their later years. In the next part, I'll share how shifting your perspective can reignite your purpose, strengthen your hormones, and remind you that growing older doesn't mean losing your power. It means mastering it. 7. The mindset that protects and strengthens your testosterone for life. After decades of working with men in their 50s, 60s, and beyond, I've learned something that goes deeper than lab tests and medical charts. The strongest, healthiest men aren't just the ones who eat right or exercise regularly, they're the ones who refuse to give up on themselves. They have a mindset that says, "I'm not done yet." That belief alone has a measurable effect on their hormones, their energy, and their quality of life. You see, testosterone isn't just a number on a chart, it's a mirror of how you live and how you think. I remember one patient vividly, Michael, 65 years old, a former firefighter. When he first came to me, he looked exhausted, not just physically, but emotionally. His testosterone was low, his blood pressure high, and his spark for life had faded. "Doc," he said, "I just feel like my best years are behind me." But what I saw in him wasn't weakness, it was burnout, the kind that comes from decades of putting everyone else first and himself last. We worked on his nutrition, sleep, and activity, but most importantly, we worked on his mindset. Every week, I'd ask him one question: "What did you do this week that made you feel alive?" At first, he didn't have an answer, but slowly things changed. He started taking morning walks again. He fixed up an old motorcycle he had in his garage. He reconnected with friends. And then one day, he came in smiling, his eyes bright, and said, "You know, Doc, I think I'm starting to feel like myself again." His lab results confirmed it. His testosterone had risen naturally, without medication. But what mattered more was that he had rediscovered his purpose. And that's the real secret. Purpose, belief, and joy. They're biochemical medicine for your body. When a man feels useful, engaged, and passionate about life, his brain sends signals to the body that it's worth investing in. The body responds by producing more testosterone, by healing faster, by sustaining energy. It's the same reason why men who stay active in their communities, who mentor, build, or create, often live longer and feel stronger. The mind drives the hormone. The hormone fuels the man. And together they create a cycle of vitality that can last a lifetime. But when the opposite happens, when a man feels hopeless, defeated, or disconnected, his brain begins to shut that system down. It's as if the body says, "If there's nothing left to fight for, why keep producing energy?" This is why I tell my patients that the most important medicine they can ever take is a sense of purpose. It doesn't have to be grand or dramatic. It can be as simple as tending your garden, teaching your grandson to fish, or learning something new just because it excites you. Those small sparks of joy reignite the fire that drives your biology. You see, testosterone isn't only built in your testicles, it's built in your mind. It's built when you challenge yourself, when you wake up with something to look forward to, when you decide that growing older doesn't mean growing weaker. Your body listens to the story you tell it. If you tell yourself you're done, your body will obey. But if you tell yourself there's more to live for, your body will fight to keep up. So as you sit here listening, I want you to ask yourself one question. What makes you feel alive? Because that's where your healing begins. The habits we've discussed, eating the right foods, reducing inflammation, sleeping well, staying active, they all matter. But without the right mindset, they're just motions. When you bring purpose and positivity into your life, your body follows. It starts to believe again, and belief is one of the most powerful hormones there is. And this brings us to the final part of our journey. Because now that you understand the physical and emotional pillars of testosterone, it's time to bring it all together. The nutrition, the habits, the mindset, into one clear, powerful message about reclaiming your vitality as a man over 60. In the conclusion, I'll share how to turn everything you've learned into a daily ritual that doesn't just protect your hormones but helps you feel truly alive, strong, and unstoppable again. Conclusion: reclaiming your strength one choice at a time. If there's one thing I've learned after decades of helping men, it's that strength doesn't fade with age. It fades with neglect. The moment you decide to care for your body, your hormones, and your spirit, you begin to rise again. Avoid the nuts that harm you, embrace the foods that heal you, move your body, rest deeply, and believe in your purpose. Your testosterone isn't gone, it's waiting for you to reignite it. Because true vitality isn't about being young again, it's about being fully alive, right here, right now.